Hey everybody, welcome to your new moon in Cancer reading. The new moon is coming up when I record this in about 2 days, a little less than 48 hours. It will therefore encompass the energy of the next 2 weeks from approximately the 28th, 29th of June 2022. Now I should tell you, I was wanting to be in a really mellow place for this reading, but I could not be further from mellow. I feel that there have been a bunch of irritants in my life, notably how other people communicate or don't communicate. This is a continuation of the theme that we talked about in the last reading that I did for the solstice. And I think, we're back to a place where there's a lot of the planetary energy that is focused on coming into full expression of self, which also obviously puts us in the position where we need to also express not actually even express, but just terminate the things that we have in our environment that are caused by outside sources that do not serve our higher purpose, that do not serve to validate our value, that do not serve to generate progress and enlightenment from a heart place, a heart center. Wherever there are relationships in your life where people are blocking you from being your true self, or who are not interested in elevating you to be your true self, you will find those relationships probably need to disappear. I was going to say take a back seat, but no, really at this point we want them gone, done. Where there may be other relationships that require correction to be more aligned. I have to say that personally I feel an enormous amount of disconnection from other people right now. I feel that there are a lot of people who just aren't really willing to make the effort to be present and to communicate. And as a person who is extremely sensitive and who actually makes a lot of effort to invest in the people in my life, at this point my pool of people is so small that where I'm not getting that in that pool, obviously that's extremely triggering to me. And I've been holding it in and not expressing it, and subsequently it's been putting me in the position where of course I'm out of alignment. In addition to the fact that I also am, as I've talked about in recent times, shifting into a different professional environment that I'm not really sure is right for me. In fact, I know it's not proving itself to be right for me, but at the same time, I have all of my material world pursuits of money versus, and security, all of this kind of stuff. And a lot of the problem is that I'm placing all of these things outside of myself. You probably have been on some level doing the same thing, because that is the energy of this time. It's what this new moon in Cancer is asking us to set new intentionality around, so that we no longer are repressed in that way or making ourselves less able to be in our full expression. And this entire reading kind of is based around that. And it is going to be a little bit of a shorter reading because, first of all, unless I start rambling, I personally feel antagonized by the energy this evening, even down to my cat, who is driving me nuts because he is being so petulant. So, and moody, and I'm not in the mood, and I'm trying to find my higher self and be in a place of love, and I'm not receiving that anywhere in my life. So how can I give it, right? Which again, places it all outside of myself. I'm not loving myself for whatever reason. So let's see how this reading can help us. I haven't really read any of the cards. I just pulled a Spirit Animal Oracle card. I pulled two Sufi Wisdom Oracle cards because I felt that we needed to be more in the flow of love. And a couple of Osho Zen tarot cards and some basic tarot, just for us to have a core reading on the energy. To address the fact that I know that Astral Musings has brought to my attention that I am not mic'd up well on these at this very moment in time. I'm trying to speak a little closer to my iPad. I can only really, the way that I'm recording these things right now, record directly into my iPad, because if I record onto my MacBook, I have to edit it in software and then upload it to YouTube, and I honestly don't have the time to do that. And also, I got a MacBook Air and forgot that I don't have the attachment to expand my USB port to an old school USB, which is what my microphone is attached to. So hopefully I'm speaking loud enough that you can hear me, and if not, I apologize. It's just the limitation of this space at this time. To be continued. Why am I so angsty right now? Oh my god, it's like Cancer season. That's what it is, right? Oof. Okay, well, let us read the Spirit Animal Oracle card of the week, which is number 9. Find the actual page first before I hold it up. Brown Bear Spirit, take time out. There is a time to act and a time to focus your attention on patient strategizing. The arrival of Brown Bear Spirit signals that you are best served by foregoing hard work towards your goals at this moment, and instead just taking the time out to meditate, or just take a nap so you can refresh yourself and begin planning what you want to co-create next. Come to know the lay of the land as you contemplate and imagine what you might do in this vast space of possibility before you, and begin forming a plan. Remember, sleep allows for dreaming and rest allows for clear-headed strategizing. How might you become the person you wish to be and experience whatever your heart desires? Insights will arise as you explore the possibilities and begin envisioning your plan. Knowing what you want will ensure you use your energy wisely in the days ahead. Be patient at this time. Relax and be calm and peaceful so you can recharge. The call for action will come later. I can certainly relate to that, and I also can certainly say that that really struck a nerve, because one of the biggest problems that I have is that I don't really know what I want. Honestly, I have no idea. How do we engage in life? What part of our life experience and what we're currently experiencing is filling space, place holding, or distracting? And I think a lot of the time, even having a spiritual focus, even having, time to focus on our passions or our hobbies or whatever you want, there's still fundamentally, we can spend our time doing those things, but if we're not actually understanding what we want out of life, maybe because we have a limited perspective and we say to ourselves what we want is to earn a certain amount of money, or to live in a certain type of home, or whatever it may be. And then once we have that, we realize that that's not fulfilling, that it's not enough, that we have to recalibrate, that we have to rethink our perspective. And this is sort of another one of those moments. And of course, Cancer brings our attention to where we're lacking emotionally. And a lot of this, as I said, is all about self-worth, self-confidence, and it's time to figure that out. And maybe resting and taking care of ourselves and nurturing ourselves first and foremost, no matter what the demands are outside around us, is the only way that we will come into a space of understanding what it is that we want and what will fulfill us, right? So let's read the protection message, because I feel like we might need it. When you become so frazzled that you can't decide how to move forward, Brown Bear Spirit arrives to remind you to let go of your impatience in getting to the answers and solving the problems that face you. Now is the time for rest and meditation. Take a break, let insights arise, and know that you have plenty of time to make plans. Brown Bear Spirit reminds you that sometimes the best and most effective action is non-action, allowing the situation around you to reveal itself to you so you can better understand it. Remember that what is yours will never be withheld from you, so you really can relax and wait until the next right action is revealed. Miracles come from out of nowhere, and yours will arrive on Great Spirit's timetable. And I'm willing to surrender to that, because frankly right now, I'm at my wit's end with that type of projection, because of course I want everything to be resolved, and I want to be on a path where I feel fulfilled and I feel as though I'm like doing something that actually is serving in some greater way, and instead I am not doing any of that. I'm being paid well, and I have no idea why I'm being paid that well for what I'm doing. There probably is nothing worse for self-worth than being in a position where you feel that you don't well, I don't want to say that I don't deserve it, but it isn't. I don't know. I'm sure you can figure out in between the lines. I'm only expressing that again, not so that I can give you a Dear Diary entry on my own personal life, but more from the perspective that clearly there's a degree of emotional and energetic confusion. This happens cyclically, this need to sort of recalibrate and realign ourselves with a higher purpose. And personally, I get caught up in the pragmatism, in the setting myself up to have a foundation, but then in that I forget to actually put the ingredients in to fulfill myself and to have a plan to expand. So I guess I do just need to sit back and relax and take it all in and let things happen. And you know what? If it's right, it's right. If it's wrong, it's wrong. And if it falls apart, it falls apart. And yeah, new moon in Cancer, right? Again, by the end of this reading, hopefully, I will have a little bit of a more peaceful vibration to share with you. Hopefully this isn't too much for you to take. It might not be that pleasant to watch, to hear somebody talking this way, but I am not in a good place of self-confidence because I am being undermined, micromanaged, and there's nothing I hate more than that. So, let's see. Okay, so we have two cards. Actually, which came out first? This one, which I think is what actually a call to action that I'm doing in this reading. So hopefully you'll find your own way to channel that for you. Speak out, communicate, and solve the conflicts. I want to sing like the birds sing, not worrying about who hears or what they think. Rumi. This oracle comes to you with guidance and confirmation that you have a big heart, enough to freely speak out what you keep inside you without feeling embarrassed or fearing that you might be ridiculed or scorned. The warm, blushing glow that surrounds you beckons to a community of friends who welcome all you would like to share with them. Messages from Sufi wisdom come with immense blessings and love. Personal relationships rely on communication in so many ways. When you freely communicate with people in relationships, it reduces conflict, builds trust, and strengthens bonds. Stressful situations are usually caused by our lack of willingness to speak out when we have the opportunity. You may be fearful or concerned that people will have a negative reaction to your sharing ideas and insights. You may worry that others may ridicule or disapprove of you speaking freely. Dear one, you are saturated with a divine presence that is so rich that it wants to pour out of you in words that are freely spoken. By speaking out, you can solve many problems that are caused by a lack of confidence. By helping people know your ideas, you will be able to discover what other people want and need and adapt your ideas to match their needs. Be open to receive love from a Sufi sage like Rumi. Mantra: I am committing myself to be brave enough to speak out my thoughts and feelings honestly with others. And that's the thing, right? If we're coming from a place of love, then we can't lose what's ours. We can only lose what isn't, or what isn't serving us and our higher purpose. So anything that you do lose from speaking out essentially isn't really meant to be there. And I can understand that, and I'm juggling that right now. The Two of Pentacles did come out. It was a jumper, and I didn't end up putting it down on the table, but it was there because that's really the energy also of this time, which is turning that Two of Pentacles, juggling between priorities and feeling that we can't be in our full authentic self in order to fit in order to keep things balanced. You know, that's a big part of what the Two of Pentacles energy really is. And we turn it into through the Osho Zen Tarot, which I'll get to in a minute when I've read the other Sufi Wisdom Oracle card. Two of Wands energy, Two of Fire, which is really where we're being taken in this new moon shift, out of Two of Pentacles into Two of Wands, which I could definitely use. I just need to come out of the Cancerian murky, emotionally triggering poverty consciousness, and it's causing me to have a bizarre crisis of faith. So it's not even a crisis of faith, it's more a frustration with how things manifest, and it's a frustration more with myself of not being able to receive things in a peaceful and expansive way, and instead feeling that I'm not giving myself enough, and so therefore anything else that demands of me, a cat for example, can send me reeling. You know, I can just, again, whatever. So take time out. Our subsequent message from the Sufis is heart of the matter, which is where we're aiming for in moving beyond speaking out. That when we speak out with love, this is where we get to the heart of the matter. Align life's pathways through the heart. Sorry, you can't see that very well. Heart is the chamber of unity. It holds the essence of oneness and serenity. It's blind to the truth that is concealed within it. It's blind to the truth that is concealed within it. It's the clay that embraces both darkness and light. Remove the covering and behold this lowly heart basking in the light of truth. Attar. In Sufi wisdom, The human heart is a palace of divine grace and the sanctuary of God's love. It is the source and center for every image, yet it takes no form of its own. It is the place where duality cannot enter. Everything in the heart is united into one. Its true value is only recognized by love. There is energy in the air like a fragrance that surrounds and shelters your heart with a pure love like you have never known before. If you feel unsatisfied with your life, search within yourself and find out if your spirit and ego are in harmony with one another. Frustration and loneliness are caused by a war going on inside you, between your heart and the ego. The spirit is interested in taking the ego into its own realm, while your ego wants to do the reverse and break away from your spirit. Definitely applies to me. Dear one, you are embraced by open, nurturing hearts. What? Dear one, you are embraced by open, nurturing hearts and loving souls, a garden of beauty where you can renew yourself. Pure happiness comes to those whose hearts are polished like a mirror to reflect their excitement and desire to expand. Wow. Life is a process of constant creation. Use your heart as a guide in all non-physical choices, good or bad, conscious or unconscious, in pain or in ecstasy. Know that the heart can bring all opposites to union through love. In other words, there you are, that's me, right? I am like totally looking at a foggy mirror, looking at other people and not looking for a reflection of love in others. Instead, coming from a poverty consciousness place, feeling like I want to lash out because you're not doing this and you're not responding to me in this way and you're not seeing my worth in this way, and the list goes on. And that is exactly how I've been feeling on and off for I don't know how long. I don't know. The mantra that this card is, I am recalibrating my frequencies to resolve the battle between my rational mind and my heart by letting my mind take care of physical matters and letting my heart bring me into alignment with the true pathway of my life. That definitely requires some deeper contemplation, which we will get to now. So, I'm going to start by reading our underlying energy from Osho, the Two of Fire, Two of Wands. Which is entitled Possibilities. And oh, how many possibilities there would be if my heart was open, right? Rather than in protection mode. The eagle, I guess I should show you that, right? The eagle has an overview of all the possibilities contained in the landscape below as he flies freely, naturally, and effortlessly through the sky. He is really in his domain, very grand and self-contained. This card indicates that you are at a point where a world of possibilities is open to you, because you have grown much more loving towards yourself, more self-contained. You can work easily with others. I mean, I guess underneath it all, that's the truth, but because you are related and at ease, I can't even read, it's like, because you are relaxed and at ease, you can recognize possibilities as they present themselves, sometimes even before others can see them. Because you are in tune with your own nature, you understand that existence is providing you with exactly what you need. Enjoy the flight and celebrate all the varied wonders of the landscape spread before you. So this is really, certainly in my case, hopefully in yours if you're watching this, just a reminder that we really do need to just spend some time taking time out, meditating, refocusing, being kind to ourselves, disconnecting in many ways, not from the energy around us, the energy flow, but from the projected problems that we see in other people. Just, it's a period to just kind of detach, observe, and be at peace, and allow the universe to work its magic, basically, right? Because what I just read was basically telling me exactly what I need to do rather than what has actually been happening for me. So hopefully you're ahead of me and you're just there, right? Mind can accept any boundary anywhere, but the reality is that by its very nature, existence cannot have any boundary, because what will be beyond the boundary? Again, another sky. That's why I am saying skies upon skies are available for your flight. Don't be content easily. Those who remain content easily remain small. Small are their joys, small are their ecstasies, small are their silences, small is their being. But there is no need. This smallness is your own imposition upon your freedom, upon your unlimited possibilities, upon your unlimited potential. And that's so true. I mean, why am I thinking so small? Why am I seeing myself as being so restricted that the only thing that really, like, has any meaning in my life right now is how I relate to a new job that isn't challenging me or engaging me in the way that I wanted it to or hoped it would. And by the way, it's not just me, because I have another coworker who started working at the same time as me who's been having that same experience and observing things that way, and it's frustrating. So, anyway, that's besides the point. I know you just love my mindless commentary about my own experiences, but I don't know how else I can do things. I'm speaking out, okay? Remember? Speak out. I can't even turn my hand enough to be able to get that on camera. God. Okay, so again, I'm not really sure. This is a very intense, dense reading in terms of the tarot, because it literally is telling us, it's like a composite of everything that's going on. It's not necessarily a timeline per se, but we do see where the anchor of the path ahead is, you know, because we start with the Eight of Cups. What are we walking away from? And I will take clarifiers on these cards. I have not yet done that. But what are we walking away from that's getting in our way? What have we walked away from that has been getting in our way? What restrictive reality are we stepping out of in order to step into our King of Pentacles energy, which is where we actually truly are underneath it all. We're in a place of strength and wealth and possibility, but some shadow energy has kind of played a trick on us. It's very Neptune in retrograde, I hate to say. It's, you know, when the direction shifts, that's when it's most potent, and it's kind of like that, you know, awakening from a dream or falling into a dream. Either way, you're aware on some level that something's not the same as it usually is. And for me, I feel like this is a period of awakening out of perhaps a foggy idealism that is a little bit of a spiritual bypass, or, you know, and then turning that into a more positive thing to re-embrace the actual beauty of the spiritual flow that we all can connect into, and that hopefully you're doing a better job of connecting into than I am right now. I should also add that I didn't sleep very well last night because I meditated before I went to bed, and for some strange reason I got like a massive energetic flow. It was like a Isis meditation, and I was just like, Isis as in the goddess, not, you know. Yeah, I don't. I feel I don't know if this is me, because I can't really see exactly what's triggering this to this degree, but I guess it's there. I just feel this very intense kind of upheaval energy in me. Like, pull the blinders off kind of thing. Face the truth, accept the truth, and stop being in avoidance. Stop smoothing things over. Stop giving space to things and people that don't deserve that, because you're not, as a result of those things and people, able to give enough to yourself. Right? It is coming to an end. It is the end of that karmic cycle. We have the world here following that. So we walk away from whatever it is. We'll take a clarifier to figure out what it is. Perhaps we'll get some insight, so that we can step into a fullness of our self-worth and self-confidence. We know that we are experienced. We are, we've got lifetimes of knowledge and power that we were gaslit out of using for so long, and we know that worth, and yet in order, trying to fit in that 3D like human dynamic, it just kind of goes haywire, and then the next thing you know, you're cowering in a corner trying to make yourself fit in. It's like, no, fuck off. You are the light. You're the one that shines in any situation in your life because of what you have experienced and what you know and what your soul has been through. But it does require of us, right after that world card, we have the Hermit and the Hangman, which is a requirement to go inwards and actually take the time to do what we were talking about initially with, the brown bear spirit, and, basically all of this, like reconciling all of this, figuring out what it is that we want our lives to represent. What do we want to fill our sense of purpose with, right? And, I went to the beach today, and just for a few hours, and I'm itchy. I also did an infrared sauna afterwards, and I sweated so much that I thought I was gonna die, but I didn't, obviously. Anyway, another sidebar. This is basically, when I talk like this, it's because I don't really have people in my life who have any interest in hearing my inner monologue, or I try to share, but I don't have people in my life who are interested in any of this kind of stuff. And it's, we've been talking about this for a long time, but it really is at the point where it's like getting very, very frustrating to me that I only seem to ever like have just dumbasses to communicate with. So subsequently, it's like I feel as though I'm like, these monologues come out of me, and like in particular when I'm doing these videos, sometimes I just feel as though I'm like, it's unadulterated, like verbal restriction being set free. So I'm glad that you watch it and that you enjoy it, but I can imagine sometimes you just are like either laughing or thinking, what the heck is this guy on about? Because the ending, okay, I get this now, the ending, what is ending with this world card and with this Eight of Cups that we will meditate on and come to the understanding of fully when we are in our hermit, hanged man state of mind, is this: competition. Who are we competing with? Compete with yourself by all means. But competing with others, with these dunces, with these people who haven't done any of the work, who haven't been through any of the things that you've been through, who don't have any understanding of anything outside of themselves, they're just surviving, trying to thrive and survive on ego. Those people, why on earth are you or I competing with them? That's what has to go. That's what has to be terminated with this new moon energetic shift, which of course by the time we reach the full moon, we will finally have that clarification, right? I mean, the resolution. We'll have worked through it. We'll have reconciled what we have brought in that's new with letting go of what doesn't serve us. So 2 intense weeks of self-discovery, I would say, and we don't have to worry about it because guess what? Our outcome cards are judgment, divine intervention, divinely timed, divinely purposed, and the 6 of Swords, an informed removal, this is moving from the 8 of Cups energy where we're walking away from an emotional baggage or some form of emotional behavioral pattern that gets us in these situations, to finally resolving to change our mind and to focus our attention on the possibilities, the unknown possibilities, but taking action towards a new way of seeing life, a new way of experiencing our thoughts, our rules, our parameters, our boundaries, all those things in a healthy state. I will take a clarifier on that 8 of Cups, please. Can we get a clarifier on the 8 of Cups? What could that be? I mean, honestly, I feel like I can't even shuffle. The Knight of Pentacles reversed. So this is like the inability to be patient with our process of understanding, having faith in the growth that we're experiencing. That's what we have to let go of, is not having faith, losing our faith because we want things to move quicker than they are, and we need to understand that we are on the right path, we are being given the right opportunities, the things that are in our life are exactly as they are meant to be right now, but at the same time, we have to find a way to nourish and enrich our inner life so that we feel that we don't focus on expectation constantly outside of ourselves. And that is really what the King of Pentacles is, right? Let's get a clarifier on that World card, because the King of Pentacles is really the fullness of self-worth. It's not wavering on self-confidence and self-worth because of what's going on in the outside world. I mean, okay, so the world on the world, it's just the end of a cycle, and beneath it was the Emperor and the Empress. So I would say that's probably the end of duality in terms of our power. You know, perhaps what actually causes us to fall out of alignment is that the ego and the heart are seen as the Emperor and the Empress, and we need to eliminate the separateness of those things to understand that ego is always going to exist, but if it's coming from a heart place, then there is no more duality, right? I want to clarify on that. Oh, no, it didn't take long on the 5 of Wands. We got the King of Cups and the Four of Swords. So hold on one second. Again, it's just a reinforcement of the idea that if we know our emotional wealth, if we know the wealth of the experiences that have informed us to be who we are as an emotional vessel, there is no competition, because 99% of the people around you have not done that work and are not thinking about anything. They don't think about consequences for themselves or for others. They are just surviving, but surviving under the illusion that they are thriving by material world 3D bullshit metrics, right? And there was also the Four of Swords, which implies that we need a rest from this, that actually we cause dis-ease, disease, and illness, mental and physical, within us from engaging in this idea that we need to participate in some kind of a competition, some kind of fight with others. It's like, you don't fight with somebody who you know is weaker than you, right? I mean, you don't want to fight with anybody, but if you're going to, at least if there's going to be friction that, is more a temperance type friction, it's with the goal of polishing and perfecting something so that it becomes better, so there's an opportunity to become better, both sides of the mirror, But if we are fighting with people, if we're fighting to be heard or seen or understood by people who cannot, then we fall into a need to withdraw and a need to heal constantly, because what we're actually doing is re-triggering PTSD. It's like re-triggering like all of our wounds that we've actually spent all this time healing, right? So there's a masochism to to that. Woo. Okay. I'll take a clarifier for us just to end. We have one more Asha Zen card to read, but I'll take a clarifier on the Six of Swords and the Judgment energy if Spirit wants us to have one. Nice. Okay. Interesting, because these are sort of diametrically opposite in a certain way. We have the Three of Cups, and we also have the Nine of Pentacles as a clarifier on the Judgment, Six of Swords energy. So the idea here is that, again, this is a graduation from duality, in that we can both have the fullness of our self-worth, being self-sufficient, taking care of ourselves, not needing to be dependent on anybody else. I mean, emotionally, obviously if you work for somebody, then you're dependent on them, but within, that's an agreement. I guess I'm meaning outside of agreement, if that makes sense. Coming from a place of disharmony within. And Three of Cups, which is being able to emotionally participate with others as a result of being self-sufficient on the 3D plane. So that's an interesting outcome there, and one that I will probably rewatch this video and try to contemplate better myself, because there's something deeper there. Oh, hold on, because I just dropped one of those cards. And it was the Three of Cups, and I picked it up reversed. So in other words, walk away from the possibilities of the Three of Cups energy reversed. In other words, it's time to stop disconnecting from everyone else. If we get to that place of self-confidence and self-worth, then we don't need to be in poverty consciousness about what we bring to the table emotionally in our relationships, and with community too, and new people. But not just, I mean, yeah, I mean, new people or just seeing people with new eyes, I guess. Bottom of the deck, looking up at us is the Ace of Wands. So as a result of that, then we move into Divine Inspiration. Our outcome card from the Osho Zen Tarot, which is, I believe, probably more of a reminder of what this is all about, if I remember this card well enough. Six of Cups, Six of Water in this deck, the Dream. Some enchanted evening, you're going to meet your soulmate, the perfect person who will meet all your needs and fulfill all your dreams, right? Wrong. This fantasy that songwriters and poets are so fond of perpetuating has its root in memories of the womb, where we were so secure and at one with our mothers. It's no wonder we have hankered to return to that place all our lives. But to put it quite brutally, it is a childish dream, and it's amazing we hang on to it so stubbornly in the face of reality. Nobody, whether it's your current mate or some dreamed of partner in the future, has any obligation to deliver your happiness on a platter, nor could they even if they wanted to. Real love comes not from trying to solve our neediness by depending on another, but by developing our own inner richness and maturity. Then we have so much love to give that we naturally draw lovers towards us. I mean, this is like, I love it when it all kind of matches and comes together, because this is literally the conclusion of everything that we've been looking at here. This has been said again and again through the ages. All the religious people have been saying this. We come alone into this world, we go alone. All togetherness is illusory. The very idea of togetherness arises because we are alone, and the aloneness hurts. We want to drown our aloneness in a relationship. Could that not be more clear with that dichotomy that we had there of the Three of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles? It's kind of incredible, right? That's why we become so involved in love. Try to see the point. Ordinarily, you think you have fallen in love with a woman or with a man because she is beautiful, he is beautiful. That is not the truth. The truth is just the opposite. You have fallen in love because you cannot be alone. You were going to fall. You were going to avoid yourself somehow or other. And there are people who don't fall in love with women or men. Then they fall in love with money. They start moving into money or into a power trip. They become politicians. That too is avoiding your aloneness. If you watch yourself deeply, you will be surprised. All your activities can be reduced to one single source. The source is that you are afraid of your aloneness. Everything else is just an excuse. The real cause is that you find yourself very alone. And that's true, right? I mean, listen to me, like all the whining I've done, and like as I've been describing my own situation, and really ultimately what it all comes down to is that I'm not really focused on being joyful within myself, for myself, by myself, and instead I'm busy measuring my experiences and my thoughts and my emotions by whether or not anybody else is giving me what I feel I deserve. And so, remember, take time out to reflect on that if you're feeling in any way whatsoever out of alignment. And remember that you speak out with love, but you still speak out. And You do so with the goal to be in alignment with your heart, to align life's pathway through the heart. And that is our new moon in Cancer message. I'm sorry I've been talking over there, over here, up, down, like all over the place, but who cares? It's really because I'm very close to my iPad so that you can hopefully hear me better. I really am glad that we did this reading together because I do feel a little bit alleviated myself. And now I'm going to finish my tea and go play with my cat because I haven't been very loving towards him as a result of my imbalance. And I'm going to do a little meditation. I will say a little prayer for all of us to overcome these very annoying shortcomings of poverty consciousness and lack. I wish you infinite joy, blessings, kindness, love, generosity, openness, and all that with quiet boundaries and self-nurturing and self-love most importantly. Amen. Namaste.